Oh, I still got goo on my face from dinner. Oh, well. Hi, my name is Ron Juckett, and it's time for the DoDCast postgame show. The Washington Nationals lose the last game of this three-game set to the San Diego Padres, 5-3, on a rain-delayed affair on a Sunday afternoon. They take 2 out of 3. They take 4 out of 6 in the homestand. They still are, I think, 30-19 now. And hold a very comfortable lead in the National League East. It was, for the most part, a very successful homestand. They go on the road now for 9 straight. A series with the San Francisco Giants, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and Oakland Athletics. So there'll be some late nights and some lost sleep and plenty of coffee from chains of your choice if you're staying up. Remember, tomorrow's game is a 4 o'clock game, and then the rest of the Giant series are 10 o'clock games. Then there's the Thursday is off, and then we go to Oakland for 3 more for the weekend. So let's get to the totals. 5 runs on 14 hits and no errors for San Diego. 3 runs and 8 hits and 1 error for the Nationals. Yates gets the win, his first of the year. He goes to 1-0. Joe Ross, who we'll get to in a minute, takes the loss. He goes to 2-1. And Maurer gets Maurer, picks up his 6th save for the Padres. They go to 19-33. They are well back in the National League West. Let's get to the good stuff. First, Trey Turner went 2 for 5 today. He did score a run. Brian Goodwin, before he was lifted for a pinch hitter, went 2 for 4. He did strike out. Anthony Rendon drew 2 walks but couldn't get a base hit, so he went 0 for 3. Ryan Zimmerman with a bad play in the field, allowing a runner to go to third in the top of the 9th. But did go 1 for 3 with a run score. Adam Lind still appears to be the flyer signing of the century, along with Matt Albers. He went 1 for 3 today and drove in 2 runs. Michael Taylor, not a good day. He struck out 3 times and stranded 6. Lobatone just kind of looks lost at the plate. Wilmer Difo, though, in his walk-up music, 2 for 4 with a run scored. Here's the problem. They went for the offense. They stranded 9 today. They had 2 extra base hits. Goodwin and Lind off of Chacin with doubles. But they went 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position, and they stranded 9 total. Now, yes, it's tough when you bench 4 players. The outfield today of Lind, who looked pretty good considering he hadn't played a game in center field or left field in 7 years. Taylor, who's an excellent defender, and Goodwin and right. So Lind and Goodwin were 2 of the subs. Difo played second because Murphy is still battling a stomach bug. He did feel well enough to pinch hit, and the Weeders did pinch hit, and Lobatone caught. So it's not necessarily your A team out there, but they had chances to win the ball game. When you strand 9 and when you have 11 at-bats with runners in scoring position, you should do better than score just 3 runs. They had 11 base runners on, so everyone that reached eventually got on to second base. But, there are times you're going to lose games like this. And overall, as I said, it was a good homestand. What was baffling to me and drew some interesting back and forth was the performance of one Joe Ross. In 4 innings and change, he allowed 12 hits, 5 runs, all earned. He walked 1 and struck out 4. And gave up a homer. So his ERA now is at 6.18. In 85 pitches, he threw 61 strikes. So it's not like he's missing a ton. I mean, he's a nibbler. He's always going to nibble, and he's always going to require a lot of movement on his pitches. But I see it for me. Now, I understand that I came to what I'm doing now after his debut and missed the early part of his career. But as someone who came in afterwards, the things that I'm not really fond of, and you may not like this, and that's fine, and I may be completely wrong. It's my opinion. Doesn't mean that I'm right, but it is my opinion. he looks lost. He looks kind of indifferent. He looked bored out there at times today. I guess that's what he does, and I guess that works. It does work when you're winning. But, I want to see him be a little frustrated with himself. He doesn't need to go out and stalk the mound like Max Scherzer or have a conversation with himself like Gio Gonzalez does all the time, but just something to kind of try to wake himself up while he's on the mound. His velocity dropped 6 miles an hour off his fastball from the start of the game. He was hitting 94 in the first inning. By the time that he got into the fifth, it was down to 88. That's not good. His arm slot dropped again, just like it did in his last start against Seattle, which causes that. Those are things that he needs to be cognizant of when he's on the hill or be told in the dugout. Now, I'm watching these games on television. Obviously, I don't know what's being said in the dugout. I don't know if he's trying to correct things or if he's being instructed and he's just kind of blowing it off or whatever. But durability has been a concern with him since he came back from his injury at the end of last year, which is granted was the first time that I saw him. He didn't pitch a good playoff game, but again, he'd only pitched once at the end of the 2016 season coming off his injury, maybe twice. So that's not really a good judge for him. But the Nationals sent very subtle signals that they weren't real happy with the progress he made coming off that. If you remember during the winter meetings, it was Masson that was reporting that they weren't happy about it. And since they're part owners of the channel, that's pretty blunt saying you need to ship up. And he didn't make the team out of spring training. It was not just a numbers thing. He's now done 2 stints with Syracuse. So he's been given 2 chances to try to right the ship. Now, the first time he kind of had to come back up after the Jeremy Guthrie debacle. They needed a 5th starter. But whatever momentum he took from his tremendous start against Seattle, he lost with this. Everything was just kind of hittable, and that's not good. The fact that they only lost 5-3 is pretty amazing because the bullpen didn't get charged with any runs, and they had to get 15 outs to do it. Jacob Turner, 2 innings, allowed a hit. Blake Trinan, I hope he's okay. He pitched 2 innings. He allowed a hit, and at the end of that performance, he took one off his foot, and the reflex pretty much hit it off his jaw on this side. He was hit right there. He was being attended to by the medical staff, and don't know the end result. Hopefully he's okay, but he really was jarred. Before that, he pitched really well. He retired the side on 3 ground balls and 10 pitches in the 7th inning. He threw another 10-pitch inning in the 8th through 16 strikes. Eddie Romero does what Eddie Romero does best. When that fastball goes over the strikes, you can't hit it. He did get 3 strikeouts in his inning, but did walk a batter. But the concern, I think, really is with Trinan because that was scary. Because he had looked good. He's looked better his last handful of appearances and looked really good today and then ended it that way. Let's see if you have anything to say on Twitter or in chat. He had looked good. He looked better his last handful. And I forgot to mute myself. I got away with that. So all in all, some good things to take out of it. Hopefully things are okay with Trinan. And Ross, I don't know. He faced 25 batters in 4+ innings. Now, as a 5th, if your expectation of him is higher than a 5th starter, that's pretty much what I see him at. And it's my not so professional opinion that a lot of the problem is in between years. I just don't like to look in his eyes. I know that doesn't mean anything. But really, just trying to get a read on him. I mean, there are days it doesn't work. Today was clearly one of those days, but I just want to see some indication that he knows that he's not doing well and try to correct it. Now, There's video. He can see what worked well for him against Seattle. He should get another start. They're not going to make Turner a starter again. I think they have to let Ross try to work this out. But one of those things, you have basically 5 weeks to decide what you're going to need to get for down the stretch and for the playoffs. And fifth starters might be something you need to look at. I hope he works it out, but you just never know. Go back and look at that video and see what you did right. Go back and look what you did right last year before you got hurt. There's video of everything that he did with Syracuse. See what goes right and work on those in those bullpen sessions, and hopefully you can work through it. The potential is there. The talent is there. I mean, he's still very young, but there's a roadblock someplace. And the drop in velocity once he starts is a huge red flag. I don't know how you fix that. Again, I don't know what it is. And so anyway, he takes the loss, and he should have been bailed out because the Nationals had a lot of chances with runners in scoring position. And as I said, they went 1 for 11, and they went 2 for 20 over the last 2 days. That's in San Diego, so you're going to split that. But that's not what you want to see, is you're starting to face better teams again. The Giants are improving, and, of course, you got the Dodgers. So the next 6 games are on the road. They're off skelter time-wise. You really want to get those things solved. But you sat 4 regulars today, and everyone should be back in the lineup tomorrow. It was a great sign to see Murphy at least pinch hit. All right, finals in the division from earlier today. Miami beat the Angels 9-2. Mike Trout was hit by a pitch, I believe, and is going for an MRI tomorrow. Don't know if he broke anything, but the early indications are that's not good for the Angels. Another rough game for the Phillies. Cincinnati beat them today 8-4. Atlanta trails San Francisco 7-1 in the top of the 9th. Mets and the Pirates are Sunday night baseball. Matt Harvey going for the Mets tonight. And what should have been a massive pitcher's duel at Dodger Stadium today, it was not. In the bottom of the 6th inning, the Dodgers lead the Cubs 7-4. Kershaw was chased after 4 innings. He gave up 13 hits today. The Nationals will face Kershaw sometime in that Dodger series. What did Baltimore do today? Baltimore lost to Houston today 8-4. All right, Trinan contusion on the left foot, according to Byron Kerr from Masson on Twitter. Says Spire. Don't know if hopefully that means that his jaw is okay, but at least the early indications were they took a contusion on the foot. It was a ground ball, line drive that hit him on the foot, and by reflex, Trinan kicked it, and it just hit him in the face. It just was nothing you can do about it. And those things sort of happen. So if it's only a contusion on the left foot, that's a good sign. But I'm wondering what's going to happen with the mouth. I mean, someone said on Twitter, that's how you lose teeth, and you're right about that. Okay, games in progress in the minor leagues or finals. Potomac and Wilmington started at 6 o'clock. It's 2-0 Potomac in the top of the first. Harrisburg and Richmond are just about to get underway tonight in Harrisburg. Hit a little pitch for Harrisburg. Cronauer is pitching tonight for Potomac. He's given up 2 hits in the bottom of the first inning. Syracuse today lost to Gwinnett 6-1. Satterwhite takes a loss 0-2 with a 6.30 ERA. No homers for the Chiefs today, and Hagerstown goes to 30-19. They beat West Virginia 7-2. Bork gets his first one of the year. He's 1-3, 4.87 ERA. Perkins with his 3rd home run of the year. Reistetter with his first of the year for Hagerstown. So that's a good sign for them. They continue just to pound the baseball. This was the screen I wanted. So, you know, you take a 4-2 trip. You're going to lose these once in a while. Things to watch out for. We saw some of this in the Brave series too. They couldn't get anything off the bullpen. They need to do a little bit better job hitting with runners in scoring position. Yes, it's tough today because they did have so many people sit down. I wouldn't call it a white flag game, but you know, I mean, they'd won the series. They're going on a long road trip. This was not an A-team effort today, but it is a problem when you're 2 for 20 over the last 2 games. Hopefully, this means that we'll see Daniel Murphy back for all 3 of the games in San Francisco. We'll see what happens with Ross's next time out. You know, you root for guys like that, but you got to be honest when they don't pitch well. And I've just seen, you know, I've been obviously, if you know my history at all, I've been a Red Sox fan for a long time, and I've seen the same thing from pitchers like Clay Buchholz. Like, you can't figure out what to do, and you just kind of get lost with it. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm right about Ross, but I just don't like what I'm seeing. No, you don't need to be, you know, hugely demonstrative about it, but you want to see some sort of something from him besides, okay, you can't accept mediocrity. And today was a mediocre performance by a pitcher who has the goods. I mean, he's never going to be an ace pitcher, but he should be better. You know, he should be better than a 5. And right now, he's a 5. You know, he's a 5-hole pitcher, and that's what you get from 5-hole pitchers. You get good performances one game, and the next game you don't. So it's 3 against the Giants starting tomorrow. As I said, first game is at 4:05 on Memorial Day. Ricky Keeler will have live coverage for you, and then Ricky and I will talk about it afterwards. And then the next 2 games are 10 o'clock games before Thursday being an off day. On the site today, we took a closer look at Steven Strasburg's magnificent 15 strikeout win yesterday over 7 innings. Just very good stuff for him. And Drew Douglas talked with one of the top draft prospects that the Nationals might look at. That was pretty clever for Drew and great work. Oh, Hagen Danner is his name. And so Drew talks about the conversation that he had with him. Tomorrow, Ricky will have the 5 to watch for in the Giants National Series, and I'll have something for noontime, which I'm not sure yet. So 3 hours and 19 minutes to play with an hour and 20 rain delay before we even got started. Thanks for spending part of your weekend with us. The final score is San Diego salvages one of the series with a 5-1 win, or 5-3 win. And so for the Ricky Keeler and the rest of the staff at District on Deck, I'm Ron Zuckett. We will both talk to you tomorrow.